Well, the Prime Minister is, Patrick, hoping to have some FaceTime with President Trump. How is he going to explain Australia's reluctance to increase defence spending? So many of our allies have, and we seem to be a little bit recalcitrant, saying, no, you're not going to tell us what to do.
Well, there is one theory of thought that he will actually have that meeting and then announce a rise in spending, which politically might be savvy, if you like. Look, we've been like this country with the ostrich head in the sand for so long, where basically we're just denied talking about it or thinking about this fact that the world has changed. We have to be able to defend ourselves. And it's something that's become a separating sore over a long time, that we're in this position where we don't spend any money on defence. We have no great plan for spending money on defence, and we're decades behind where we need to be in a quickly changing world.
Carlyon, the plan appears to be America will save us if anything happens, and America is asking us to raise defence spending to 3.5% of GDP, and if we're not willing to do that, can we have this expectation they're going to come and save the day?
Well, why would they? If we're not going to be proper partners in this process, why would they come out and help save us?
Absolutely. And just finally, with the Prime Minister, he is in a blessed position. He's just won in a landslide. He's got the Greens in the Senate. He doesn't even need to deal with the crossbenchers. But, Patrick, the financial issues facing this country are real, and a landslide doesn't change that.
No, that's right. Look, energy bills is the obvious place to go on this. Energy bills are going up, cost of living is going up. These are things that Australians have been feeling since 2022, since Albo was first elected. He's not really saying anything that's addressing those issues in a massive way, and I think that's why today's speech was so disappointing. He does have a mandate, really. He has the numbers in the House of Representatives. He can do things. And basically, today's speech suggests that he doesn't really need to do much. He just wants to sort of dabble around the edges.
Well, on energy policy, let's check in on how the Albanese government's future Made in Australia plan is going. And Intercontinental Energy, the co-owner of two massive green hydrogen projects in Western Australia, has conceded initial costs for delivering green energy from these facilities is going to be between $8 and $11 a kilogram. Eventually, they hope that it falls to about $4 a kilogram. But according to MST market analyst Sol Kavanagh, hydrogen prices need to be below $2 a kilogram to become close to competitive with other energy sources. $8 to $11 a kilogram equates to over $60 a gigajoule, which no major energy user can afford. Meanwhile, the average cost of natural gas, Patrick, in Australia is just under $12 per gigajoule. This is, again, one of the Prime Minister's, the Labor Party's dreams about green hydrogen. We're going to become this renewable superpower. And the evidence so far is not there. Our prices are going up, and the more we invest in this sector, the more prices increase.
Look, countries and energy companies all over the world have looked at green hydrogen. They've tried to make it work. It's simply not viable at the cost that it comes at the moment. The technology doesn't exist. And the fact that green hydrogen is a pillar of our energy future, according to this government, is hilarious. And it's really sad because it doesn't exist yet.
No.
It's not on the table. It's not an alternative. And it can't be an alternative until the technology exists.
Yeah, they're obsessed with green hydrogen, Carlyon, but we've got plenty of gas, coal, uranium, all very reliable sources of energy that we're not properly using.
Yeah, and this is just recklessness, Rita, because it's 4 to 5 times the cost of the gas, and they're wanting to call this a plan for the future. Can you imagine a CEO announcing to the shareholders that we're going to invest $8 billion and maybe in 20 years' time we might get a return on investment? It's not an investment, it's ideological indulgence.
It is so ideological. They've just completely abandoned reality, and ideology is ruling the day. Now to Channel 10's decision to axe its flagship current affairs program, The Project. It's been on air for 16 years. Our colleague Steve Price is defending the unwatchable Lefty Talk Fest. He has been the sole conservative voice, some would say token conservative voice, on the program, and he writes in the Herald Sun that People dancing on the grave of Tens the Project are ignorant. It means that virtually all live television, bar some AFL panel shows and some comedy programs and the 6 p.m. news are now run out of Sydney. Melbourne is the big loser today, and the city will never get back what it had ever again. Colleen, I don't think the whole Melbourne-Sydney rivalry comes into this. That's not why people are mocking this program.
Yeah. So I have to confess I've never actually watched the project.
16 years, Colleen. It's been on for 16 years.
Yeah, I've never actually watched it for the reasons that you just said. You know, it's a lopsided, not balanced perspective of the day's news. But to Steve Price's comment about business leaving Melbourne, IPA research will tell you that there's 130,000 businesses have left Victoria in the last year.
Wow.
So it's not just something like the project. It's not just this sort of lack of reflective of what people want to see and hear. There's an undercurrent of businesses leaving Melbourne regardless of the project.
Wow, 130,000. And what is the predominant reason that's happening?
Well, red tape, difficulty of doing business in Victoria, all of those sort of economic pressures.
State taxes wouldn't
Correct.
be helping at all. Patrick, I can't believe Colleen has not watched any project in 16 years. Surely you've caught an episode here and there?
Not for many years. I think, to be fair, it was aimed at an audience far younger than us. And it was sort of...
16 years ago, you were that young, Patrick.
Yes, true, okay. But it always seemed that there was always a hint of sanctimony in the messaging of it, wasn't there?
Yes,
Sort of
that's what I didn't like. It was the mix of sanctimony, arrogance, mixed with stupidity. I mean, if you have the sanctimony without the stupidity or the stupidity without the sanctimony, it could work. But is it sad, though, for Melbourne that it's no longer here?
Oh, look, I think Pricey made a better point when he talked about panel shows being balanced. You don't see it on the ABC as a starting point. I mean, I always grew up to think that good TV was sort of disagreement and conflict and passionate opinions and you know, heavy debating, if you like. And you don't see a lot of that anymore. The middle has been lost on TV.
But I hardly think the panel provided that.
No,
it really didn't. But, I mean, it is commercial TV. They're not obliged to have that balance. They don't have the charter like the ABC do, and here the ABC never live up to that. Now, this is a only in Victoria story. Another disappointment for the Victorian taxpayer. The Labor government here have spent $250 million on a high-speed express busway from Doncaster to Melbourne. That was supposed to be high speed, as the name suggests, cut down travel times. But despite those promises from Premier Allen, it seems like this bus trip could take even longer, Colleen, because instead of 100-kilometre speed limits, we might be down to as low as 60 in sections. So we've spent $250 million to have a longer bus trip to the city from Doncaster. This has worked out well.
It's like a Monty Python episode, isn't it? It's ridiculous. And apparently, of course, there's issues with the trains as well.
There's always issues with the train.
The new trains don't actually fit on the gauge of the new infrastructure that's being built. So it's just a crazy situation and like an extreme waste of taxpayers' money, not doing the planning that's required.
Patrick, the comedic value aside, this is a pretty massive stuff up, $250 million and very questionable value.
It's not funny anymore. I mean, the North East Link...
It's a little funny.
The budgets are blown out. I drive through there going to and from home from time to time. It's just like a bomb site. It's been like that for years. And the idea that all that waiting in traffic jams is going to amount to something that's not even as good as what it was before in this context is so galling. No, it's not funny anymore.
It's a little bit funny, but not for the taxpayers, I've got to admit. Before you go, the United Nations Youth Branch has made some unbelievable claims saying that young Queenslanders, can't have a night out or see their friends because they're terrified. They're being targeted by their government's adult crime, adult time, youth crime crackdown. I think you're only targeted if you're breaking the law. The UN's got no idea. They've tried to dictate to the Queensland government what to do. Premier Christofouli had no time for that, and they're continuing on with their campaign.
I'm right behind Christofouli on this one. People have a right to feel safe when they go out, and I don't know what these youth people think that they do, that they go out, that they can't just go out and have a good time unless they break the law. I mean, it's an absurd sort of proposition to say that they're being targeted. You know, and Victoria's having a similar scenario about youth crime, and I know that the Coalition are talking about breach bail, do jail time. It's the same scenario. I think people have fed up with not being able to live their civil life in a comfortable, you know, expected way to be safe.
Patrick, you've got teenage children. Are they scared to be out and about in Queensland if you're out there for a holiday?
Look, I'm pretty sure this didn't resonate anywhere, but especially, as Carlyon was saying, in Victoria. I mean, the Premier up there in Queensland has talked about adult crime, adult time. Wouldn't we love to have that down here?
Oh, yes.
But I do invite the author of that report to come down and go shopping in Victoria, and perhaps we'll have some machete-wielding, you know, youths running past. And
It'll be very enriching for them,
Yes.
I'm sure. Patrick Carlyon, Colleen Harkin, thank you so much for your time tonight.